All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next round here at the third week of the Evie's Winter Classic. My name is Rain Day, and I'm joined by Slick Nick the Rula. Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. And we're going to go into this next match of the semifinals, WASD versus Moosesports, and it's pretty exciting. If you are just checking in, we do have a giveaway. That link is available now on Twitch by entering !giveaway and following the link and entering your information there. And on YouTube, you can't do that. You got to go into the description and copy the link there into your internet browser. But moving on, here is the bracket for today. A team has no name won 3-0 against Breakpoint and finds themselves in the finals to face off against the winner of Moosesports or WASD.
That's right. We are good to head on over to the map screen to see where this series will unfold between WASD and Moosesports. Timbermill banned out. Fish Market banned out. More standard bans here. Ice Mine still in the pool. Notably here, Game 1 will be played on Frog Isle. That is the map that we just saw played, finishing off the series between a team has no name and Breakpoint. But without further ado, let's head into the champion draft.
And here it is, time for Moosesports and WSD to determine their fate. Not a lot of janky comps, but we do see Ruckus come out quite a lot on this map, and already the blaster, the S+ tier blaster, a lot of people are saying Evie is. I would definitely agree, she is up there, and probably is the best blaster right now, just in feel, and without being changed recently. She gets selected as the first pick here, followed up by Fernando and Androxus from WSD.
Notable picks still on the board here. Makiii. Drogos even is a good answer here to Fernando. Great at forcing out Immortal there. Makiii going to be selected for Moosesports. One more pick still on the board. No healers still on the table there. Cassie will be picked out. It's interesting to see how the picks have evolved. You know, despite the nerfs and the buffs, what's prioritized when, how that's changed since the introduction of the draft system.
Oh, man, it's been an ever-evolving story, which is great. I mean, it's like, you know, it's Pokemon, right? It's just being able to continuously evolve no matter what you're doing. And that is like what I think people love about these types of games, is just being able to see the meta shift and change based on what blasters are strong, based on what damage dealers are strong, based on what healers are strong. And that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yep. That Barrack going to be selected. I was just going to say, you know, it's been a while since we've seen the champion circuit draft, but it was just Makiii, Fernando, Barrack. First three picks every time for, you know, 2 weeks straight, it felt like. Without any real changes. You know, that all just kind of started to shift and change around a little bit what we prioritized. But it will be Maldamba and Ying. Healers prioritized last in this series. So 2 frontliners for Moosesports. Only one for WASD. Right off the back, who are you liking on paper?
You know, on paper, I actually think that going to Moosesports is where I feel pretty comfortable. Waters, I know, is a very good Shaolin, and I think Cassie translates pretty well to that. I think Sorsa's really comfortable on Evie. We saw him last week as well. I don't even know if it's drafting-wise that I feel confident about this team. I just feel like they got their carries, their pocket picks that they like, and that tends to be a lot of times the difference.
Yep, moving on here, we'll go ahead and introduce these drafts. Second on Maldamba, Makiii on Barrack, Waters on Cassie, WesTo on Makiii, Sorsa got his Evie.
And WASD, dejvu on to the Androxus, MefedronenoweLov on the Buck, xiuu on Fernando, Muminn on Drogos, and Freddy will be on Ying. As they head out into battle here, Ying is the one on the horse, and she's looking down because she needs to get that upper ledge advantage. That's where she deploys her clones, at least, and the first blood doesn't help any of that because the damage comes strong from WesTo and Sorsa, getting kills on Muminn and MefedronenoweLov. So immediately, Moosesports has an advantage on paper, and that is now turning into objective time. 9% and rolling for Moosesports.
Everyone got so low there, but they all stayed clumped and grouped in the Gordon. That's fine to do when Drogos is dead, doesn't have any fire script pressure. Great follow-up from these hooks, and that is what has made Makiii a top pick. That and his little bump in damage helping the turtle make his way to the top. He no longer lives in the shadow of the Spaniard.
And what a big shadow that Spaniard cast as well. Very tall and very good champion in the front line, being able to do so many different things we see as a flank, as a damage dealer, even as a tank, which is his intended role and what he does so well. but it does not stave off any of the pressure Moosesports have been applying, and WSD are on the back foot as the payload is captured and starts to push here with 2 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock heading into the base.
Makiii going to be picking up the kill onto the enemy buck. MefedronenoweLov going to be taken down, sent back to base. Nice covering fire coming out from waters right now. WSD forced to regroup, and this is going to give up a lot of payload push here for Moosesports. 155 remains on the clock, but the respawns are here and they're ready to fight.
And they want to go for the gold, and in fact, the only one hoarding that is the Dragon, so sorsa takes it away from him, and he will have to go back to base to think about his past regressions. And now, all of a sudden, you do see Buck taken fourth by the Evie as well. A challenge, one to be accepted.
Nice
Waters and everyone else here, WesTo on the Makiii, are just feeling so confident. And sorsa again on an 8 streak, just not missing a beat. This is as easy as it gets for Moosesports, and WSD just trickling like a broken faucet.
That hook didn't even pull the target. The follow-up was already there. The second the hook landed, the follow-up came through and found the kill. Makiii didn't even yoink the target. Easy 2-0 up for Moosesports there. The composition just showing to be too strong. The hook's landing every time into the Cassie shot, into the Barrack shot. That's a lot of damage as well to be pulled into, something we haven't really talked a whole lot about. The Barrack hasn't really had a chance to shine because everything's moving so fast. He hasn't barely had a chance to get set up before his team's taken off around the corner.
He's a stay-at-home dad.
He is. Keeping track of everyone. Looking at the ultimates available here. Maldamba didn't even have the chance to get his charged up. Likewise with Barrack and WesTo on Makiii here. These will be coming up during this point fight. That just goes to show you how fast that round was. The ultimates did not even get all the way charged.
We see Evie and Barrack on similar levels of damage. 14K, third place for the Dwarventura as the windup comes through. Buck Wild is here. Sunday we gonna. The Dread Serpent from Maldamba will do a ton of damage, and the Immortal will immune some of that, but not enough. It seems like Ancient Rage popped in response. A hook is missed, and therefore he's going to have to get himself into melee range now. Wailing on the shield of Fernando's not a good, efficient use of that 650 damage, but he will shell shield and buy himself some time for his teammates to regroup and get back onto this point. Still, 9 to 7%. No one has found an edge yet, but there's continuing to fight as the respawns come into play. The Ying is getting pressured, and a nice hook coming out. The Drogos is getting pressured as well. In the air, can he find it? sorsa with the shot and the double kill to secure it with the icing on the top of the cake. Oh boy, Moosesports looking good.
Beautiful stuff. Can't teach a shot like that. That is all practice and hard work. Finding that lead time, 90% on the capture. Another hook lands, another kill falls. Here comes the response though. Muminn picking up waters, but it's too late. The push has already begun. The stay-at-home dad is ready to roll out with the kids in the minivan.
And the minivan is like a souped-up Chrysler here. It is one that people are staring and gawking at. He's got all the fixtures, all the extra additions. Blue screen, DVD, all of that stuff is in there. And it looks like now he's going forward with his teammates to finish off the deed that they started. And despite that, we see so much pressure still coming out from the Cassie and the Evie. Waters and sorsa on those comfort picks I mentioned earlier, Nick, just seem to be unstoppable.
Yep, damage dealt. Miles ahead of the competition right now is Waters on this Cassie. Part of that, we have to credit to his Makiii, though, for serving up a lot of free kills to him. Damage shielded here. Going to be roughly even across a lot of the tanks. MefedronenoweLov shuts down the Waters before he can even get started in this next fight here. Muminn finding another kill here. Struggling to get off the ground here is this Moosesports push.
And that Moosesports push is a minute and basically some change away, and they've still got a minute and 13 seconds left before they're going to have to give this up and try to capture another round. The wall will save the Ying, but for how long? Freddy goes down. Didn't have much time there. No Knights, and basically just has just a second to think about that and go back to base. And now as this push continues, they've relieved the pressure, and this is where it starts to look good. It looked good for Moosesports and really bad for WASD.
Yeah, so that little exchange we just saw is really, I think, the extent of the Drogo's nerfs. It's just going to be easier for Cassie and projectile characters to hit him in the air.
Yeah.
But he still hits like a truck. We're seeing him getting crazy amounts of damage despite these nerfs. 30 seconds remain here on the push. Stay-at-home dad has initiated camping mode.
He's put up the RV, and it's time for everyone to get out and eat some dogs on the barbecue. It's all portable. He's put his 401k into this camping trip, and it's gonna pay off. You kids are gonna have fun. Rampage for the barrack, and the healing station combined with the gourd from Maldamba will keep him alive, and it just doesn't look like they're going anywhere if this payload ain't moving as well. The Fernando coming through, and that's going to end it for the moment, but the Dread Serpent will leave Fernando trying to do a dance move away, and the Buck Wild can be the only hope.
Oh, man.
Yet that hope is not strong enough. End of game.
They had no choice.
Moosesports.
They had to dump their ultimates there to try and stay alive. It wasn't worth it. Otherwise, water's too deadly on the Cassie. Almost 60,000 damage here. Look at that objective time for Makiii. Papa stay at home. 2:31 objective time for the dwarf, riding dirty in the minivan.
It's a respectable lifestyle.
Yeah.
Let's take a
It's
look
2016.
at the maps.
Anything can happen.
Things have progressed in our age, and so has the selection for maps, as Ice Mines is still picked up in game 2. We've seen this twice now in the series we've covered today, and so this will be an interesting game. We know that for sure. There's always antics, there's always crazy fights going on here, and this is a great chance, I think, for WASD to get back into this.
That's right, 4-0 for Moose. That's a lot of momentum here, but this is the map. If you're gonna, slow things down, find the stabilization. Ice Mines a lot of times ends up in a 3-3 scenario here, so the Master Riding's gonna play a part here. Compositions are gonna play a big part here. Drogos was phenomenal on this map.
He was.
In the previous series here, head and shoulders above everyone else in damage. But there's another guy that excels on Ice Mines.
That's right. WASD now, they want to take the Fernando because they know if you can get the pressure with the Master Ridings and the fireballs hitting multiple targets like we saw last weekend, it could be devastating for your opponent. The fight can be won with just one ability. One press of Q can really do it. And Makiii here for Moosesports still selected as the next available front line, and Evie taken again, getting Sorsa, his comfort pick. Evie also a very good champion on Ice Mines, being able to cut a lot of the distance away with blinking and soaring.
Yep, a lot of zone potential we saw. Shutting down pretty much the entire enemy team by herself. Ice Mines on one passage, and just her AoE staff damage is so threatening. You are forced to come through there. You're not even going to make it through. She found 2 kills, double kill for free by herself. Evie very effective on this map as well. The answer comes back, though, with the Androxus and the Cassie.
No way to get away from the Accursed Arm a lot of times in this map. He could find you and finish you off, especially if you're a low health Evie, and it definitely has mobility too. A lot of these champions, they have that close range mobility, which is really good for those close range fights that Ice Mines provides, but they could cover some distance, and that is, I think, very important. I love the pickup, though, of Shaolin on this map.
Moosesports, this is a really good map. This is a really good draft, I think, for Ice Mines. Androxus, Cassie, they're great picks.
Yeah.
But do they shine any more so than they would normally on Ice Mines? Not so much for me. The Bomb King is good area control as well. That's a pick we haven't seen in a long time.
That's right.
Now, Damba going to round out this composition, but the Drogos, the Evie, the Makiii here, so much good things for Moosesports. Pulling somebody into any of those shots. They have a great split between Haven and Blast Shield damage. I'm loving Moosesports comp right now.
Yeah, they have a really good composition. You cannot ignore the fact that Evie and Drogos are on the team, and if you do, they're just going to hit unmitigated damage. It is very, very, I think, good that Moosesports were able to select the 2 Premier Blasters at this point, I believe. But Bomb King as well, mentioning that, Nick, this is going to be really interesting to see how he performs. Let's introduce the teams as well, get into this. WASD, dejvu will be on the Androxus again, xiuu on the Fernando, MefedronenoweLov on the Cassie, Muminn on Bomb King, and Freddy on Maldamba.
For Moosesports, it will be Makiii on Drogo, second on Ying, WesTo on Makiii, sorsa on Evie, and Waters going to be rounding things out on Solid, dude.
Hey, look at that Twitch. If you ever wanted to see what that mirror would look like,
Boom, there
if
it is.
you linked your Hi-Rez account to your Twitch account, that is it right there. You could be exactly like second.
And then we all know that's where you want to be. If you're a young player, this is a guy to look up to. A lot of Havens coming out from Sorsa and the boys. They made it easy for him, though. Not a great split on blaster damage for MefedronenoweLov and the boys. They have gone heavily into blast shields themselves. They are not respecting WesTo. I mean, that's still a lot of Haven damage, though, coming out from WesTo and Waters, Shaolin.
Now, that is
tough,
the big
man.
thing. Now, Shaolin, because when you pick up that Haven, he goes out of two-shot range because, of course, the 1,000 damage he has on his shots allow him to really two-shot those 2K champions with their health pools. But he's going to be able to do that now. No Havens really picked up. The blast shield is totally respected. And I cannot fault him for that decision. Waters here, however, in the background. He's going to go in the planet, and wow, he's going to hit the top of Fernando's head a couple of times, and now he's going to get a kill just given to him for free. Thank you, WesTo. And that is going to serve up Shaolin on a platter and already get this carry going. He's played Shaolin before, and he's going to go and get another one. He wants the Bomb King. Don't peek, buddy. He's not going to. He's waiting. He lets the Androxus take the brunt of that. A nice withdrawal. Going to put him invisible. Sorsa's going to clean things up after that. And now Fernando back in the fight. Knocked off the horse. Waters unstoppable thus far with the Yink floats healing him up, and WesTo ready to put him on a platter. This is looking impossible for WASD.
Just real curious if we could pull up the damage. I'd actually like to see how much. He's already done 8,000, and pulling the hook is going to be that much more deadly when you have follow-up like this. That's over 1,000 damage. I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,200 to 1,300 total from just Makiii.
Yeah.
You tack on another 1,000 from Waters. That is going to be a kill. Free kill onto Cassie. Free kill onto Androxus. Maldamba's going to be struggling to survive that. Bomb King is going to be narrowly escaping that margin.
It's going to be devastating, and he's walking around the corner with his bow drawn. He's lost some movement speed, but he hasn't lost his accuracy. At least that's what he hopes. He's going after MefedronenoweLov. A stun meets an impale. Freddy and Waters forced to go back and accept each other's positions, but there it is, a kill for Waters again, putting him on a 4 streak. And as the payload pushes, there is no contention. There's no contest from any member here on WASD. They have yet to find a rhythm and yet to find an answer for Shaolin.
And in 30 remaining on this push, the regroup's coming out from Moosesports right now. Sorsa's Evie being poked pretty low, but finding the artillery poke in response. Muminn each 2 long-range shots from Evie. Makiii finds dejvu. Moosesports looking to convert here in round number 1 on Ice Mines.
And that's a really good fire spin as well. It's a rocket in the face to the sidestepping MefedronenoweLov. And again, Bomb King takes some long-range damage. Does he see the fire spin? He does not, but it doesn't catch him anyways. And here the drug was in a bad spot. He gets taken out by dejvu, and now it seems like the Ying makes sure that everyone knows that though first is the worst, second is the best. He gets the better end of Waters finally, and yet Sorsa.
No way.
WesTo, they're just doing their work, and despite Waters going down, the Ying has helped to keep her team alive, showing just how powerful not damage, but healing can be in this type of push.
Oh my gosh, staying alive by such a narrow margin here. 20,000 healing.
Yeah.
Already in the books for Mr. Second on Ying. Crazy stuff coming out. I cannot believe that is a huge impact play here on Ice Mines, given how hard it is to convert. Going up 2-0 means that even if Moosesports give up this capture and still find the defense, they will profit from that defense point here. All things told, it will be a win in their books, because then they give themselves so much room, so much margin for error with this conversion to be able to take game number 2 off of WASD here on Ice Mines.
They have not been able to kill Makiii, and that is a big issue. The tank has stayed alive, so has Ying. The only players to have died are Makiii and Waters on the side of Moosesports, and so despite The carry's dying. They've yet to deal with the initial problem on the point. Fernando tries to get ahead of his team and make something happen with a fireball, but it's not enough, and he gets caught up in the damage. Makiii goes down as well, though, but Planet will secure quite a bit, and the Fernando pressure should be enough here. A nice impale. Can he turn it around? He cannot. And Waters goes down. xiuu takes down second, and finally, WesTo finds his first death of the game, thanks to the Cassie Fernando pressure in tandem, paying off.
I like the adjustment here from WASD. So they just go shoving it right up the gut. They don't want to take this fight at range because of the hooks, because of the rockets, because of Shaolin's long-range damage. They just grouped up, use the fireball, and all of that AoE blaster damage. Take it right to Moosesports. Not a team comp that does super well in a tight, short-ranged corridor fight there. Definitely going to excel at that with the Bomb King, with the Fernando fireball there. WSD find the adjustment. They find the capture.
Bomb King losing a lot of his vertical momentum, but the horizontal distance is still there. Gets himself in the fight, but unfortunately dies right after that. WesTo looking to go down. MefedronenoweLov chasing the kill, but dies in the process thanks to Waters, and he wants to clean up now. This Shaolin, so dangerous from range. Makii's going to finish off Freddy, and now this is a great spot for Moosesports. But WSD, they can't be feeling too bad right now. They've done what most people didn't expect them to do, and that's go down 2-0 and then win the next point capture.
Like we mentioned, they can still, or Moosesports can still profit from the defense point here and find themselves up 3-1 with a chance to close in the next round. Should they hold this defense, we've seen the capture can happen. Happened in round number 1. Here's the Ice Storm here, going to zone out a lot of the pressure alongside the Dragon Punch. Grumpy Bomb could find a stun here. No, they will all circumvent that for the time being.
Fernando, he went on his own. He went on his own arduous journey, left his teammates around. The shield idea was perfect, but he just gave too much room, and Makiii and the other backline damage dealers on Moosesports just left the Fernando alone, dealt with all the other backlines,
no, you didn't.
And all of a sudden, dealt with the Fernando when he was the only one left. And look at this, does Fire Spit go through there? Oh my gosh! You learn something new every day.
Dude.
What a play, what timing. Nice stuff from Makiii, showing Drogos' power on this map.
The triple dismount. Drogos is dead, boys, never forget. You guys, the Dragon Punch available to him. Dread Serpent comes out, trying to swing the fight in their favor. WSD trying to get things rolling once again. Both support ultimates have now come up. Illusory Rift and Dread Serpent off the table. WASD are trading 1-for-1 currently in a rough spot as WesTo gonna shell spin to safety, finds a hook onto Bomb King. Ancient Rage is available, but only 19 seconds remain on the clock.
And there it is, WesTo takes down one, and he's looking for more. xiuu wants to keep this push alive, but WesTo brings him back, and Makiii with the follow-up. So perfect as before, and Waters cleaning up his own personal vendetta against Cassie. The girl with the bow is going to find him and his team at a perfect advantage here, 3-1, able to win off this next point capture.
xiuu on the Fernando with the Master Riding here. That is what he used to get himself in that position to succeed in the previous round. We'll see if Moosesports can make the adjustment here to not have the same thing happen. A well-placed Fernando fireball can be so devastating, winning team fights almost immediately here on Ice Mine. So it's going to have to come down to how Moosesports adjust damage dealt. It's going to be pretty much in favor of Moosesports, despite the Shining Star Cassie topping the charts at 40,000. We have the Dragon Punch available. We have Ancient Rage available. We have Ice Storm available. We have Heat Haze available. There is a lot in the tank here for Moosesports to try and close out this capture point, and that will be the game if they are able to do so.
Dragon Punch wants to be used. Makiii goes for an anticipatory Fire Spit, and it hits with only 476 damage.
Nice.
But you know what hits with a little bit more? The Dragon Punch, but not if his team has an Immortal on him, and that means that no one will die except everyone on WASD once it ends. And despite the Immortals saving their lives temporarily, Moosesports win the war and take a huge lead and potentially game-ending lead here on Ice Mines with 39% taken away.
xiuu gonna get dismounted. They're meeting resistance already, trying to zone out for as long as they can. 60% on the capture point. Big pick already. This Heat Haze is so good. No one can get the beat. Waters just ripping through the back line right now. The response is on the point, though. Second finds this trade out on the support. It doesn't look like WesTo is going to be able to get it done.
87% and ticking, and what may be just a technicality at this point, the time has continued to run, but the game was surely over after that fight, and Moosesports will take a lead 2-0 in the set.
So great adjustments from both teams here in the second round. We saw them come out, clumped up, shove it down the throat, win the team fight immediately, but then another great adjustment from Sorsa to just counter all of that clumping with the Ice Storm there. They were caught out. They had the Immortals save them for a little bit, but the pressure from the Dragon Spit, all of that combined, AoE shred was just too much, and they lost that fight in spades.
Talking about keeping people close together, Ice Minds does that naturally, but with an Evie and then a Drogos to follow up, that huge blaster damage and Waters with the pinpoint accuracy, it was just too much for WesTo to overcome. Let's take a look at the maps and see where we'll be playing Game 3, and again, the potential final game of this semifinal set before we head into the finals. WesTo versus Moosesports. One winner will take on the team has no name. Now, Jaguar Falls will be the map selected now, Nick, and finally we see sanity back in the world of,
that's right,
in the realm of Paladins.
I've been enjoying the switch ups here on the maps today. Classic old favorite Jaguar Falls. We'll see what the teams want to bring to this classic.
This derby. El Clasico, we say.
Cassie first pick, huh?
Cassie first pick. Moosesports feeling pretty confident about the Cassie, taken away from WesTo as well, but I think just in general on Jaguar Falls, like the way Cassie maneuvers, the mobility of the dodge roll, a lot of different corridors to get around, and she's one of those champions with the loadouts that she currently has, can really take advantage of those corridors almost better than anybody else.
Definitely. So the response from WesTo going to be Androxus and Fernando. Two picks that it did pay dividends for them in the previous. Like I said, Cassie and Androxus were very strong picks in general, not more so on Ice Mines, where Drogos, I think, excels a lot on Ice Mines. Evie is great on every map, but Ice Storm is particularly strong on Ice Mines. Fernando strong on every map, but particularly strong on Ice Mines due to just the tight nature of it. So now those two characters are split across both teams in this game.
Very surprised not to see an Evie picked up here. I would have to take away. They can get a top-tier healer here if they want to go Maldamba. They haven't seemed to favor that, and they do now. WesTo grabbing the Serpent, but again, now they leave the Evie back here, which is interesting. Maybe they figure because of the first pick Evie that Moosesports just doesn't care about Evie in this matchup right now.
Picking the Buck, I've never really seen it over the Evie. Maybe it's the map, but even you can make the argument that Buck doesn't do so great on this map because of all the ceilings and the rooms tight around. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Moosesports going to just leave the Evie entirely. They're going hard on the point, deployable Nightmare, Barrack and Ying, Makiii as well. But a big key here is that they do have the Drogos. This comp, it falters a little bit against Drogos with that Fire Spit pressure. Fire Spit build is going to be coming back more into play, I believe, since we did see the slight tone down to his mobility. WesTo are going to try and fill that role with the Bomb King in terms of area control.
Yeah, and Bomb King again saw some adjustments as well. Important to kind of talk about those, Nick. We'll mention those later on in the broadcast and how the real impetus and direction for those are. But still seeing a lot of play are the two blasters that have been in high contention lately. Let's introduce the teams. Moosesports on the left-hand side. Second will be on Ying. Waters on Cassie. Makiii on Drogos. WesTo on the Makiii, and Sorsa on the Barrack.
For WesTo this time, dejvu will be on Androxus. MefedronenoweLov going to be on Buck. Xiuu back on Fernando. Muminn going to be playing Bomb King this time. And Freddy once again on Maldamba.
This is perfect. And I think for Moosesports to use this lineup that they picked, very tanky. It's got a lot of sustain. They've got the deployable Nightmare, Nick, with the Barrack and the Ying. And this is going to be something that could be quite devastating unless WesTo have a clear way to break through it. And the Bomb King could be an answer, but WesTo already takes him down. And look at the damage from Makiii. This Drogos picking out exactly where the flank will be taking place, following up on WesTo and just laying it in. 54% for Moosesports and counting.
Now climbing. WesTo trying to regroup. That was such a beautiful just play, right? gets hooked in, and the fire spit comes through immediately after to zone out, but the respawns are here. Grumpy Bomb is going to connect. Waters finds the first kill for Moosesports. Immortal not going to be able and available to save his teammates just yet.
And therefore, because they lost that first fight so poorly, there's a lot of pressure now. The Fernando went and chased down the Makiii. Some will get stunned, but it doesn't matter yet. The fire of the Poppy, actually, excuse me, will help make the Barrack fly into the air, but it doesn't matter. Moosesports will get the capture despite WSD's rally towards the end of that fight.
The dedication from Barrack. Stay-at-home dad found his way on to the point. Nobody takes my minivan away from me. But now WSD are doing a good job at finding some stabilization in these fights. First, the commentator coming through, though. 2 picks for Moosesports. They are ready to get this push rolling. Everyone is healed up and healthy. 2 minutes remaining on the push. Big hook through the wall. The follow-up is good. That is Dredge Anchor defined, what it can do for your team when the follow-up is there.
Makiii and Waters being so strong about their commitment to following up off of WesTo's Dredge Anchors and being able to just perfectly position themselves to not be in any dangerous position as well, just waiting, trusting their teammate, not overly being aggressive. And again, you see Makiii following up on dejvu in the air, the Dragon being extremely effective, taking down Muminn as well, but sorsa finishing off 2 low targets that have been set up by WesTo, and his consistent pressure he's been applying to the enemy team of WASD with these hooks.
Yep. xiuu coming through on the Fernando, trying to make the stabilization play. Buck's going to dive immediately into the backline, but the cover is there. dejvu has the accursed arm. WSD are spending ultimates. They do not want to go down 2-0 early again.
sorsa still alive. He's forced to rocket boots, trying to get behind cover. A healing station turret will be there. He's going to use the B for BM and knows that he's going down, and so he goes down with his own choice instead of letting them take him down the way they feel like they have control. So 37 seconds on the board, and it is up to Moosesports to push this one, and there's not a lot of room they have to go, Nick. It's about 10% away. WSD are in for a very heavy defense here. They've got to play this right.
Ancient Rage almost available. Dragon Punch finding its way back into relevance again. Here we have Illusory Rift. We have Scout available. Lockdown camper mode for Daddy Barrack could come through as well. Here's the Illusory Rift here to get that AoE spread out healing. Waters finds 2 picks immediately. Dread Serpent comes through to try and stabilize, but the fire spit pressure is so huge. Drogos doing a ton of damage in this fight. 4 kills in total for the Moosesports backline.
This is gonna hurt potentially. Nice thrust out of the air, and Waters slays them both. See ya later.
Hashtag synergy.
Synergy on point. Moosesports with a 2-0 set lead here and a 2-0 in-game lead, potentially able to close out this game and set with a perfect round coming up.
Makiii looking to be doubling most of the damage dealers in this game currently. Insane pressure coming out from the Drogos player in this game. Followed only 14,000 behind is Waters, who is having an excellent impact on this game as well, following up on a lot of the kills that Makiii is looking to set up. Double Havens coming through for a lot of Moosesports team. MefedronenoweLov on this buck, sitting at 0-6, struggling to get off the ground here. I don't see why it was picked up over the Evie.
The Evie was available, but the buck was felt to be favored. And again, the same exact position they take, and this time the Fernando shield is up early enough to avoid the fire spit, and that makes all the difference. dejvu takes down Makiii, and now the Bomb King ultimate is here. He's gonna get it off. He's gonna stay alive, but you know what? These get sniffed out, and look at this. The Immortal is perfect, but they still don't have eyes on Waters, and now he's gonna go down. That Immortal was huge because Water would have cleaned them all up.
Blast shot was, it actually mitigated a lot of probably kills from just the blast shot alone. Would have been enough to clean up a few in that room. Big play, big Immortal coming through for xiuu, and it may have created enough space for WASD to get this capture. There's the Dragon Punch coming through. This will at the very least send it into overtime.
And that's a beautiful thing. They've taken down the Barrack though, and that's exactly what they needed. The objective's been captured thanks to the pressure from WASD, and MefedronenoweLov finally finding his rhythm on that Trigger Man buckskin.
Now, 2 minutes remaining in this push, all the time in the world. We'll need to wait for no respawns. They are all here. And this is the same adjustment we saw come out in the previous game on Ice Mines. They just shoved it right up the gut as 5. Make Moosesports deal with it in an instant. WSD have a comp that's very good at just shoving it up the gut and doing just that. And Drox's Bomb King operating at short range can be very deadly. Even maybe we could see a couple Defiances come out. Moosesports have the ability to adjust this, but what they don't have this time around is that Evie, is that Ice Storm. That was so big for them in counterplaying this clumpy death ball start that WASD were looking for before their barrack can get set up.
That's right. And now you see Freddy going down again thanks to WesTo. The domination of WesTo taking down so many of the key players on WASD's roster here. And again, Makiii following up just so perfectly as well onto WesTo's setup has been the result, has created the results that have Moosesports has had thus far. I feel that Maldamba, Nick, and this is something I want you to comment on, hasn't been able to find his rhythm, really pocket healing either that Buck or that Fernando too effectively yet. He's been getting pressured out a lot.
Yeah, using the Dread Serpent as well is going to be a big factor for WSD. This is a colossal team fight ultimate that can be used to swing very, very dire situations, almost in the way that Immortal can. Source is going to find a kill. Barricade goes down. Waters is there for the protection play, and now just trying to stop the bleeding is WASD, but Waters is having none of it. He says, let the blood flow.
Let the blood flow indeed, and now the Maldamba has found his way into Buck despite the rest of his team just being without the ability to withstand the onslaught of damage. There's been no individual outplays coming forward. They've been working as a unit, waiting behind the Fernando, and no one has taken the initiative except the members on Moosesports here. They're just finding kills, and Waters again is being unstoppable despite being on a different champion yet again. Doesn't matter if you take him off the Shaolin or put him on the Cassie, Waters is ready to play, and he's even performed on the Grok we've seen last weekend. So defense will be successful, and Moosesports will be in a position with 3 points now to win it this round.
Yep, similar to how things went on Ice Mines as well. Profiting from that defense point, they just need one more. Haven 3 for second, Haven 3 for Waters, Haven 3 for Makiii, Haven 3 for WesTo. They are going to be very difficult to bring down in this next fight here. Dragon Punch is available. Ancient Rage nearly there as well. Big key ultimates for Moosesports. They're going to have to land on both because they've only got 2. Looking at WASD, however, there is everything available to them. We have a Cursed Arm, Buckwild, Immortal, King Bomb, Dread Serpent. This is going to be a very difficult fight for Moosesports to win if WASD use their ultimates correctly.
Can we see the healing as well, if possible? Because the Maldamba, although not really finding as much of his rhythm, still putting out 47,000 healing, and he's going to need to get that number way higher in this fight. His team needs to stay alive. A nice Immortal to immune the Dragon Punch comes out from the Fernando, and now all of a sudden a Fire Spit will help Makiii secure Freddy, and then Maldamba's healing will go down the drain and out on the other side. Waters rolling in to take down MefedronenoweLov, and no Evie selected will mean that no mobility allows that Buck to get out of harm's way. And with 53% counting on for Moosesports, this objective is almost won, and so is this game.
The hook is available here. Here comes the King Bomb. Can they take him out before it comes through? They can! The King Bomb will not connect with anyone there. Just a minor stun onto the Makiii. No backline targets get taken out. Big Fire Spit damage coming through on the point. Caught by the reversal. Sent into Sorsa here. dejvu looking to make a swing play.
He's got to get it, but he can't. dejvu gets the kill, and Waters gets the kill onto him. Again, such a strong performance from this Cassie. However, Freddy is back. Pocket healing his Maldamba, but also doing the deadly deed of getting kills. WesTo forced away, and WASD taking into overtime, and Moosesports are looking stunned.
Yeah, that was a big, big swing play from dejvu there. Off the back of what was a very lackluster first team fight from WASD, despite all the ultimates. We saw the Dread Serpent come through. It felt like, you know, he was just trigger happy with it. They didn't find any follow-up off it. The Immortal came through to counter the Dragon Punch, but just countering the death. That Fernando was still full health. That Dragon Punch still did 4,000 plus damage in that fight there. So, like we said, Moosesports only had 2 ultimates in that first fight, but they were able to find a lot more value, a lot more bang for their buck.
And Buck
no
here,
pun intended,
with the trigger as well, trying to get some bang onto those targets like Barrick, but Barrick getting the better in.
Haven 3, dude.
Haven 3, and the fact that he's got Healing Station as well is just keeping him alive. Buck finally hits the recovery, so he will regenerate his health very quickly, but he did the right thing, and he forced the Barrick out of that fight, and now it is looking very good for WASD and having at least a chance, or a semblance of a chance, to move into a position to tie this game as they push this payload cart. Minute and 25 seconds still on the clock.
Curse the commentator, though. All 5 members of WASD fall almost immediately.
Now you die.
For nothing. All 5 members still standing for Moosesports. Still a lot of time on the clock, like you mentioned, however, but the zone is going to be pretty real. A lot of distance covered here on these mounts. They are right back onto the payload. No zoning coming out from Moosesports, giving up all of that positioning. Waters gets stunned by the Grumpy Bomb and punished.
I really like the awareness too, but it just doesn't seem like they've got eyes on Makiii. The Bomb King in the air, and Makiii pressured out by 3 targets shooting at him. Is not going to get it, but he gets a double kill thanks to Fire Spit. Can he get the triple? He can't land it, although it's a fantastic showcase of skill and timing by Makiii, but he's going to get 2 for his troubles, and that is more than enough to pay the bills. And so Waters goes back, rolling to her home, which is the far end of the spectrum, and now starts to take on more fights around the corner. Waters just seeming like a champion, a god, a player that can do whatever he wants to in this battleground.
A lot of displacement there from the Fire Spin. It's going to be so big. Gets 2 juicy backline targets separated from Fernando, and Moosesports just able to pick them apart. Drogo's having an incredible impact in almost every one of these fights, and Moosesports saving their ultimates to win this next point fight. It is going to be a good look for them. They have almost everything available to them. The Illusory Rift just 6% off at this point. A lot of Havens online. Drogo's head and shoulders above everyone in this game, literally doubling the Androxus and the Buck from his opposing team here.
Pretty impressive stuff as well. I mean, taking a look at this, it seems like the Haven 3s have come out in spades across Moosesports, but WASD has prioritized a little bit more variance in their cards, it seems, going into some cauterizes. The Ying forcing them to make those decisions.
Definitely here. Those Havens are going to have an outstanding impact here on this game. MefedronenoweLov on the Buck, starting to find some more momentum there. Found 6 kills in the previous round, but a lot more deaths as well. Moosesports, every ultimate available to them. They will likely be winning this fight off the back of those hooks right off the bat. The shield is immediately down. Dragon Punch has yet to come out. Here's the King Bomb. Who will win the War of the Worlds? The unstoppable force meets the very movable object. Dejvu bites the dust.
Nice play by Makiii to change targets and go to the back line where he knew the immortal range was not effective and therefore takes down the Androxus. Waters unstoppable, and the river is flowing. 57% for Moosesports, and this could be the end of the game. The group is real, and they've got one more chance, WASD, to break into this point fight and make a stake for being back in this series.
Dropping a lot of ultimates as well. WASD didn't drop a single kill in that last fight. There's the Dread Serpent, there's the Accursed Arm for nothing. No kills off the back of it. Double kill for Waters. 3, triple kill for the Cassie. Can he make it a quadra? He will. WASD finds nothing with their ultimates, and Waters drowns them for it.
That was nice, yo. That was nice. Drowning indeed. Waters comes through and lets open the floodgates of damage. 90,000, almost trying to catch up to his Drogo's counterpart.
He closed the gap in a big way.
And he really did. A quadra kill at the end of the game sends Nick, myself, the viewers in just resplendent awe. And I'm glad we chose the same adjective to describe that, actually.
Improv boys.
And the fact that we were able to see such fantastic play by Waters, he, to me, has been the game changer, the difference maker. Despite how well everyone has played, Waters and his just staying nothing until he's the biggest problem on the battlefield has been the difference for me.
Absolutely, and WASD not finding anything with their ultimates, I think, is their biggest problem here. They have to work on making these count. Even when fights where they were going into ultimate advantage 2-3 outnumbering, or 2-5, excuse me, outnumbering, they were still not finding convincing wins and value for each ultimate.
Well, let's take a look at the bracket and see where all is laid out for us for the finals here of this Week 3 at Evie's Winter Classic. A team has no name will be facing off against Waters and Moosesports, and that whole collective of players has been performing at an extremely high level today. It's going to be an exciting matchup, and I cannot wait to see how these two teams fare against each other for the second week in a row.
Yeah, going to be running it back here in the finals. These games are really starting to heat up. The Paladins scene as a whole feels like it's growing just so much more competitive by the week.
And it's exciting to be able to give these teams a better field of vision. That means you on Twitch, you on YouTube watching, being able to take a look at not just the big boys, but the boys who want to be big, who are growing up in adolescence and proving themselves here week in and week out. Of course, if you want a little bit of, I guess, a reward for your troubles of watching, you can make sure you go ahead and enter the giveaway by hitting !giveaway on Twitch and following the link, entering your information, or on YouTube, just going into the description and copying that link into your browser. Of course, we've also got the Twitch Ying mirror skin that's available for you all. If you want to link your Twitch account and your Hi-Rez account, it's as simple as that. You'll get a free weapon skin in the game Paladins when you next log on. Gonna be some exciting stuff, man.
Definitely. So the finals coming up next between Moosesports, excuse me, and a team has no name. Go get your free stuff. In the meantime, we're gonna take a quick break while we get the finals up and ready for you.
See you in a bit.